Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Carrow Road. This is big, isn't it? Norwich City taking on Coventry City this afternoon. We are here to bring you the team news, which I think we might be getting any moment now as the team sheets work along the line. We're kind of in the race. Yeah, good shout. Paddy's off to grab a team sheet, and we'll bring you that team news as it drops in just a second or two. Should be a really interesting one. Plenty, obviously, to dissect and discuss. No John Rowe for Norwich City today. No Danny Barr either. Sidney Van Hooijdonk, does he make the bench? Does he start? Has Norwich City even received the clearance that he can play? Lots of stuff in the air for us to consider. And Mr. Davitt has a team sheet. Paddy?
Has it launched yet?
It hasn't launched yet.
Okay, here we go.
Give us the team news.
I'll just read them off. Angus Gunn, Jack Stacey, Ben Gibson, Borja Sainz, Josh Sargent, Fashnacht, Sarah McLean, Duffy, Nunes, Yanulis, Van Hooijdonk on the bench.
Okay, and I think I'll be able to bring you that in some kind of formation, which I can. So here we go. Gunn in goal. Stacey, Duffy, Gibson and Yanulis, the back four. Nunez and McLean as the midfield two. Fashnacht and Sainz on either flank with Gabriel Sarra, I would presume, behind Josh Sargent in that second striker role. The bench. Long, Fisher, McCallum, Hanley, Sorensen, Hernandez, Gibbs, Barnes and Van Hooijdonk. So on the bench for Sidney Van Hooijdonk on his Norwich City debut, I would suspect later this afternoon. Paddy, like you said, it's I don't know how many change. Well, it'd be Fashnacht for Rowe, and is that the Leeds 11?
Yeah,
I think so.
Duffy and Gibson, yeah.
One change from the team that played at Leeds. I guess that signals that David Wagner was pretty pleased with what he saw at Ellen Road all in all.
That's good. It's good for me because it means we would assume that it's Sarr in a more advanced position again, and I don't think he's had that opportunity in back-to-back championship games. Didn't really happen for him at Leeds, although the best elements they did create, he was at the hub of most of them at Ellen Road. And yeah, so I'm very happy to see that. I didn't know, probably too soon to go Van Hooijdonk and Sargent. Not sure what Ashley Barnes makes of it, but there you go. But he's out of the mix for now in terms of the 11. I'm sure we'll see Van Hooijdonk second half, but like that, yeah. I mean, you could debate Fashnacht in, but much of a muchness, him or Ronell, isn't it, with that lineup with no John Rowe? But other than that, yeah, I'm not surprised, if I'm honest.
No, me neither. I mean, let's talk about Van Hooijdonk. Signed for, I think he came to the club on Thursday, didn't he, officially? So we'll have trained on Thursday and yesterday as well. Probably unsurprising in those circumstances, given how close to the deadline the deal got done, that Wagner hasn't quite felt that he could throw him in for a start at this stage. Not like he was kind of playing every week for Bologna anyway. I think he's had a little bit of an illness that ruled him out actually of the final game in Italy before he moved to Norwich. So probably not someone who's in a position as of yet, given the week that he's had, to be frustrated.
Yeah, and I think that would have been a little bit unexpected if he was to go straight in. I mean, he was obviously in the building he started the first part of his medical on Wednesday night, so Thursday he was at a training ground, wasn't he? Probably didn't do a huge amount that day in terms of actually on the training pitch. Friday, yesterday, but of course, game day -1 would have been a lot of shape work with the team that he'd already had in his mind. So, yeah, but it's great option to have, and who knows how this game is poised around the hour mark. But say they were level, hypothetically, throw him in, and the fairy tale is there to be written, isn't it? So, yeah, and it's just, I don't know, it'd be interesting to get the thoughts here of the fans, but strangely, given that it was one out, one in terms of strikers, and they lost two senior players, wouldn't strike you as a particularly productive window, but it just genuinely did feel like a bit of optimism around this guy because of his age profile, what he's done in Holland. He's okay. He's not really made his market in Serie A yet, but that's considerably bigger league and higher quality threshold than this environment. So I think there's quite a lot of optimism and excitement, and let's see what we've got in terms of that player, and if he can come in and have an impact, who knows where it takes him in the context of the top six.
Let's see if we can bring you the Coventry 11. Some good names in there for them. This is how they line up this afternoon. Collins in goal, Van Uwijk, Thomas, Kitchen and Bidwell the back four, Torp and Allen the midfield two, Sakamoto and O'Hare on either flank with Wright and Sims. Paddy, I mean, I don't know how closely you follow Coventry these days, but certainly that attacking four feels really strong from a Cov perspective.
There's a big miss there, though. Ben Sheaf, who's been their top player, he's very, dare I say, Ollie Skip in terms of his influence, defensive midfielder, but he's better than that in terms of just a passer and a mover on the ball. He got injured a couple of games ago, I think. I think Robin said at his press yesterday he was going for scans last night, and they'll have a more likely timeline, but they're talking hamstring, which will be weeks. So that for me is the interesting one. Torp is the one of the winter signings who scored an excellent goal in the FA Cup against Sheffield Wednesday. They've got a replay to come there. So he's probably the like for like. But yeah, you're right. In terms of attacking areas, obviously they lost 30 league goals with Gyökeres and Hamer going in the summer. They brought in Sims from Everton and Hadji Wright, US international. Sargent, I'll know him very well, brought in from Turkish football. They've only got 12 between them at the minute, so they are losing at the minute. They haven't quite worked that one out yet, but the key man is Callum O'Hare, who's an attacking midfield player. Dare one say it, Buendia-esque in terms of his stature and his influence. Maybe not in his quality level yet, but he's out of contract. You know, a lot of the contractual situation around Norwich, he's one who's out of contract this summer. And if Coventry don't go up, he will be heading to the Premier League because he's a very good player and he makes them tick. So, yeah. And Sakamoto as well, they brought him from Dutch football. He was good in the reverse game at the CBS, wasn't he?
More of a wing back that day,
yeah,
wasn't he?
Yeah. And in fact, I think the goal came down his flank. So, yeah, there's no doubt going forward, you probably say they're not quite in Leeds levels of attacking Arsenal, but they're definitely one of the better ones in the Championship. And that back four from Norwich will get tested today, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's interesting that he's kept Duffy, who obviously missed the Liverpool game with a slight back injury, and Gibson as well, who made, by his own admission, a bit of an error for, what was it, third goal at Anfield last week. I mean, is there enough there for you? I mean, like you said, Sims and Wright, you've got one there who's big, one who's powerful and quick. That feels like a really kind of key battleground this afternoon.
So I've been distracted by this as if I'm Agent David or whatever. No, I mean I'm basing it on the fact nobody in this lovely audience wants to hear about Coventry City, particularly overly. What was that question? Sorry, again, come on.
It's just the battle between Coventry's front two and Norwich's defensive 4/2.
Yeah, and to be fair, I'll have to go back and check. But did Sims and Wright play at the CVS? I've got a sense they did, and I thought Norwich that day, central defensively, did a good job on them. Obviously, it was Gibbo, unfortunately, put through his own net at the back end of that game. But in general play, I didn't think they caused them too many problems. If anything, it was just down the flanks and the rotations that they tried to get into the game that day and just wore Norwich down eventually. But, you know, they were only 1 or 2 minutes from what would have been an excellent away win that night, that afternoon. So, yeah, but for me, it's O'Hare. It's O'Hare. They need to bottle up O'Hare. And if that's going to be McLean and Nunes in that area of the pitch, they need to lock onto him because he's what makes them tick. He will get them between defensively, midfield and attacking lines. Very intelligent player, space, technically good in small areas. So they need to lock onto him. And if he starts to have an influence on this game, it'll probably end badly for Norwich.
It's interesting. We're seeing Ashley Barnes drop to the bench. Like you say, it happened at Leeds as well. Is that not an admission, but almost a pat on the back for Marcelino Nunez, who's come into that deeper midfielder role and has been able to free Gabby Sauer up to go a bit more further forward.
Yeah, and for me, long overdue. And I'm not trying to, it's not a negative directly levelled at Ashley Barnes, but, the games that they've played against Leicester and Southampton, dare I say Ipswich as well, the sides who are really at the top end and leading the charge, you look at their 9 and 10 mix, and it's far more nuanced. It's not just two big lads and let's get the ball up to them as quick as possible and play off them. There's a lot of, and we're talking about it with Coventry and O'Hare, it's far more devil and far more nuanced to how those sides, who are the best sides in this division this season, are going about it in that area of the pitch. And I just think Norwich have been too predictable, really. Yeah, it worked okay in the first 7 or 8 games with Barnes and Sargent and that press. And maybe that was in David's mind when Sargent came back. But I just think it opens up more avenues for them to be better attacking-wise if you can get Sarah into that area of the pitch, because he is, and his stats already show you, in a deeper line position this season. He is goals and assists as good as there is in the Championship as a midfielder. So why not try and get him as close to the opposition penalty box to affect the play more often? Seems a no-brainer to me. So, me personally, if this is the way we're going to go now and Van Hooijdonk is in this mix as well, I'd be happier to see that this rest of the season than really Barnes and Sargent, which I don't think. You look at Ashley Barnes' goal return. Is he really affecting games at the sharp end of the pitch? Not for me.
No, and I would agree. The stakes today are quite high, aren't they? It's interesting. I mean, you put that to David Wagner. Everyone will know the points difference between these teams. Coventry's currently 3 points ahead of Norwich on a really impressive run of form. 1 defeat in 16. That defeat came at Portman Road. What was it, back in November time, I think? November, December. It was definitely not this year. So they're on a remarkable run of form, which has transformed their season. Really had quite an indifferent start. Obviously, lost Hamer, lost Guy Koresh, and had to rebuild. Essentially, they've done that. They've got Callum O'Hare back, and it seems that Mark Robbins, as he tends to do with Coventry, has got them moving in the right direction again. This is a game certainly that you feel Norwich City in particular cannot afford to lose today, isn't it? Because if that gap was pushed to 6 points, okay, we know how the championship works. It wouldn't be insurmountable, but it would be a major dent, I think, not just to obviously what they're trying to do this season, but probably to the mood around the place after what's been a fairly productive January.
Yeah, it would be. It would be a bit of a puncturing of the balloon. You know, Leeds have won again, haven't they, at Bristol City last night? So that increasingly doesn't look like the worst performance. Yeah, we can debate about, they were a little bit toothless at the top end. But in the midst of wins over Hull and West Brom, and the manner of the West Brom performance here as well, that was what was really encouraging for me. It wasn't that they just Southampton-esque was second best and a long way short, but dug something out. No, they deserved to beat West Brom that day. And that, for me, moving forward, it was quite encouraging. But because of the poor run they were on pre-Christmas, now, any lost ground feels bigger because the games are running out. But David was right when he answered that question. 17 games left. That's quite a block of games, and Coventry have shown what can happen if you can get on a run. They were mid-table before they went on this run, so it can be done. It's about timing it, obviously. But it would feel quite a blow today if Coventry, who are on that run, in the top 6 already, and then they come here and take the 3 points back, because you're realistically, for me, 5th and 6th is all you've got to play for now, unless one of that top 4 drop out at this stage. And it's hard to see that with the points they've already got on the board. So if you've only got 2 spots to play with in that top 6 and you lose into one of the teams who are going to be in and around it, goes without saying, that it's not terminal, because there's plenty of games left, plenty of points left, but it's more the psychology of it, that Coventry come here and win the game, and probably underlines that they're better equipped over the remainder of the season to really be in that top 6, and there's plenty of other clubs who will feel the same. So, for me, it's definitely a must not lose today.
Score?
Right. Draw, I think. Yeah. I'll tell you, if Sheaf had been in this side, I would have fancied Gob to come here and win, if I'm honest. Yeah. He is that big a miss, and we don't know how they're going to cope without him today. So,
not a similar type of.
But he's, like I say, he's only been in the building, hasn't he? A matter of weeks, days. So there will be a getting to know you process, as there is with Van Hooijdonk. But that said, if we get the West Brom type of performance with the likes of Van Hooijdonk to come into the mix, there's plenty here for Norwich, and the record is tremendous. I don't think Cov won this fixture since 2009. So
twice since '89.
If you put a bit of solace into sort of trends, then it's a very good game for Norwich normally. So, but I just think if it's level and you're getting into the closing stages, that both teams think, well, we want to win the game, but a draw isn't the worst result, and we roll on again. So, draw, Connor, you?
And actually, I said on the preview show yesterday, you go for a draw. Just because of your allegiances and whatnot. I think this is going to be tight either way. I could basically see all 3 results, if I'm being honest today. I think it will be 2-1 either way, and it's sun's shining and it's laying across half the pitch. So I'll go for a Norwich win in spirit.
If I thought Norwich were going to win, don't worry, I would say it. I don't, I'm not divided in the slightest for the next 90 minutes. Ideally, they both get in the playoffs and away we go. But there you go. But not. I'd like to see Norwich win the game. I just don't think they will, frankly.
2-1 Van Hooijdonk winner. Let's go with that, and that would be perfect for everyone involved, I think. And obviously, it would be a massive win if Norwich City could get it over the line today. Although probably, if I'm going a bit more in my head, it feels probably like a 1-1 draw is a little bit more likely, especially with Norwich City missing Johnny Rowe. Pinken.com, the place to go throughout the afternoon. Full analysis, reaction, full coverage as well over on the Pinken Plus app with our live blog. Come and join me over there throughout the afternoon. This is a big one. See how they get on. Thanks for watching. See you soon.